Alright, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Terraria. So, a couple of things you will have noticed. First of all, woohoo! I got the full, I have the full set of Ancient Shadow armor. So, the Ancient Shadow helmet, the Ancient Shadow scale mail, and the Ancient Shadow greaves. It turns out to be a total of 19 defense instead of 20 like I thought. But each of the pieces increased my melee speed by 7% for a total of 21%, and the set bonus gives me 15% increased movement speed, which is pretty freaking fantastic. And as you see, it has like a sort of after image effect as I run around, which is pretty neat. Another thing, I replaced the ice torches in my house and down at my farm with and you can see my farm is pretty I've slowly been taking those out taking out those pots because I'm gonna move that. I'm gonna change that up because you can see I have a good number of seeds. 87 blinkered seeds, a full stack of daybloom plus 23, 53 water leaf seeds and all of that. And you can see, I've got a pretty decent supply of these potion materials now. So one of the few things I'm really missing, I kind of need some more vile mushrooms for vile powder, because apparently that is used in the boss summoning item for the Eater of Worlds. I think that's what it's called, the Eater of Worlds, the corruption boss. And I need glowing mushrooms, so we need to find those. But yeah, I replaced the ice torches with ultra bright torches, which are a new torch that didn't exist in the old version of Terraria. However, unfortunately, you cannot make these. The only way you can get them is by buying them from a traveling merchant. So you just kind of have to check the traveling merchant every time he shows up, and hopefully he has it, right? Hopefully he has some. So just a quick recap. Last time I said I was going to go over to the corruption and farm enemies over there. And you can see right up here, I kind of filled in one of these holes with dirt. I went down quite a bit because, enemies can spawn pretty far off of your, off of the screen that you can see. So I filled in a lot of that with dirt. I made a little room. There's a table in there and a bed. Of course, I know that with the corruption, you can't have NPCs anywhere near the corruption, but it didn't occur to me that even if I made a room and put my bed there, that I couldn't use it as a spawn point. So yeah, I put the bed in there, tried to use it as a spawn point. It didn't really work. But anyways, I just left it there because it's nice decor. But yeah, I made a comfortable little alcove there that I could go back into if I was low on health. And yeah, I just chilled there for like a couple of hours. Ooh, well, was it a couple of hours? It felt like a couple of hours. It might not actually have been a couple of hours. But, I chilled there until I got the full ancient armor set. You know what? Why am I scrolling back? So, yeah. Now, I made a bit of money there. However, I decided, you know what? I really need more money than this. Because the katana! The katana is my weapon of choice. It is an auto-swing weapon. It has 16 melee damage and 19% critical strike chance, which is pretty high. It doesn't have a lot of yes. It doesn't have a lot of knockback. It has weak knockback. So honestly, as a melee weapon, knockback is one of the big things that I really want on a melee weapon because, I want a melee weapon to be able to keep something away from me. I mean, for now, this'll do. Plus, I might be able to, once we get the Goblin Tinkerer, I might be able to get it a good modifier for knockback. Though it's already on weak, so I don't know if that would necessarily be worth it. So yeah, I bought the Ultra Bright torches. They were kind of expensive. And I was thinking, I would kind of like some more money. The corruption enemies, they drop okay amounts of money. but it was nothing like super special. You can see in here, all I have left is 7 gold coins and 19 silver, so I don't have a lot of money left over. I really don't have a lot of money left over. So I decided, you know what, where would be a good place to get a lot of money? And I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about that. And one of the things that really annoyed me about the corruption is like, okay, yeah, they're flying enemies, but they really didn't seem to want to spawn as often as I liked. So I decided, you know, all right, I'll come over here. I'll come over to the desert, and I flattened some things out. Never mind this. We're going to check this out shortly. And I went over to the jungle area. And I started doing some landscaping work here in the jungle, a little tiny bit. But mostly oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Mostly what I did is I just made a flat area and then put down a pillar of mud, which is now covered in grass, so that I could, you know, basically put my back to that pillar and wait for enemies to come to me. And the enemies in the jungle do drop a pretty decent amount of cash. The jungle slimes especially, I was getting like, I don't know, 2 to 4 silver a pop off of the jungle slimes, which is pretty nice. And that allowed me to get some money to buy the katana, as well as the ultra bright torches and whatnot, and the jungle bats that I was fighting there actually dropped a jagged depth meter. So I don't care about the 1% damage, but the depth meter is actually nice because, as you can see to the top left of the minimap, actually let me turn that off. Yeah, you can see right under my life now, I'm at 110 feet above the surface, essentially. And as I understand it, every single block in Terraria is essentially 2 feet. So if I drop down from here, I'm at 108. There, it's 110. So one block is essentially 2 feet. So one of the things that I did very quickly is I started working on my mine shafts. And you can see I've started to figure out, okay, this is kind of where I want my tunnel to begin. But I started working on my mine shafts a little bit. I made gray brick, and I started working on this. But you can also see that I decided to put together some red brick, and what's under that is some... oh, God. That's a wonderful way to start the episode, Fox. Oh, love it. Gotta love it. Oh, my goodness. I also, you know, started removing large quantities of dirt down there. Great job, Fox. Great job. Oh my goodness. I meant to grab onto the wall here and just kind of slowly slide down, but then the rather annoying antlion charger kind of made me rethink that plan. Oh god. But yeah, you can see with this weapon, I can actually do some damage. But yeah, so basically the red brick layer that I have created shows exactly where the surface is. So you can see I stand here where that red brick was, and it says level surface. So that is the exact level of the surface biomes. And then if I go ahead and get the mud brickstone out, you can see it says 2 feet underground. So that is officially where the underground biome starts. And I'm probably going to die again here, yes. That's fine, whatever. I need to go back down and replace that anyway. So yeah, I made that, and it basically shows exactly where the surface ends and where the underground begins. And I went ahead and I basically made just one big old layer. That is actually not dirt, those are wood platforms, so that doesn't block my way. But yeah, I made a huge little line all the way from my desert mine shaft to my winter wine shaft, yes, my mine shaft. And then I actually even took that further, and I took that almost all the way over to the corruption. I actually ran out of red brick, so the mud blocks, or the mud brick, actually goes all the way to the corruption. The bricks, I slightly ran out of. I could probably finish that sometime, but I'm not going to worry about it. I found a couple things along the way, like that right there. Basically, that is a demon altar, guys, and I surrounded it by torches so it would be easily identifiable. And it's actually way outside of the Crimson. I don't know what it's doing there, but it's actually fairly convenient because it's pretty close to my mine shaft, my winter biome mine shaft. And I guess once the corruption starts to spread, it will still be in the corruption zone anyway, so I guess it really doesn't matter. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. I don't know why it's so far away from the actual corruption. But yeah, we're gonna head down there, and I'm gonna start the episode proper here. I'm gonna stop dying and messing around here, and I'm gonna show you guys some of the things that I discovered whilst I was doing all of that digging. If the antlion chargers will stop annoying the ever-living shit out of me, which it doesn't appear that they want to. Again, the only problem with this katana, I really love it. It does some pretty nice damage. And it is absolutely fantastic for the crit strike, but it just doesn't have any knockback to keep enemies at bay, which is a little bit of a problem, especially for something like the antlion charger that just it runs at you at full speed. Once you initially hit it and get it to slow down a little bit, it's not as much of a problem. And yes, I've had some issues with antlions spawning down here. Actually, as you spawn that, or as you saw, they actually spawn on my. Actually, I think I need to go up on my platforms here to show you what I found. They actually spawn on my platforms, even when there's no actual sand, which is very bizarre to me. So they like to spit sand down here and whatnot and all of that. So yeah, this is one of the things that I found. I found a lovely chest. I haven't looked inside of it yet, so I'm not sure what's in there. Blowpipe? Blowpipe. Garbage. Trash. Whatever. That potion I'll take. I'll also take the coins, I suppose. So we can get rid of that. Okay, so I believe the next thing I found was not too far from that. It was down here a ways. Where was it? Yes, right here. So let me go ahead and jump up here. And then from there, we will not do that. Let me get rid of all of that dirt. Oh, I have to dig my way in there. Yeah, I actually don't have any normal torches on me. I converted a lot of them to ice torches. And that's not really necessarily because I want to use ice torches. It's actually so that I can make frostburn arrows, which I think are really neat. And I'm going to try those instead of flaming arrows once we have to fight the Brain of Cthulhu. So what do we have in here? We have some normal torches, some more night owl potions, shurikens, rope, lead bars, an herb bag, and yet another blowpipe that needs to go in the trash. Where'd that other one go? There. Throw in the trash. Garbage. Throw that gravestone in the trash. It's also garbage. You know what? I should throw the wood greaves in there too while I'm at it. To hell with it. It's all garbage. Okay, so those are two chests that I found. So we go further down here, and I believe the next thing that I have to find is pretty close to my winter biome mine shaft. It's definitely in the winter biome, and I found it, and I was pleasantly surprised when I found it. You know, I was just working on this these lines that indicate where the surface biome ends and where the underground biome begins, which is pretty important. You need, especially for fishing quests, because sometimes you need to fish at a very specific lake, or rather at a very specific biome, and it has to be either at the surface or in an underground layer or something like that. So if you don't know where the surface ends and where the underground begins, it can be a little bit of a problem in figuring out exactly where you want to make your fishing holes and stuff. So the fact that I found that depth meter and now I can do this, there it is, it makes that whole thing a lot easier. So yeah, I found a life crystal just chilling there in the water. So we are gonna hop down and grab that. So yay, another life crystal that we can work with. So I have one in the one of the bank at home, I guess you could say, and we found one there. So our max life right now, technically, could be 140. Now the next thing, all right, I got rid of all of these torches because of some water, I believe. I really like the again, I really like the effect of the ice torches. It's just really a shame that it doesn't create as much light as the normal torches do. Um, but it is what it is. I really like the ultra bright torches. They're basically like, you know, ice torches, only they give off a lot more light. I think they give off the most light in the game outside of, yeah, here's my demon altar. I absolutely surrounded with torches, so it'd be easily identifiable on the map. But yeah, I think ultra bright torches give off the most light of any torch in the game besides the diamond torch. And I mean, obviously, you don't want to spend diamonds to make torches, right? That just doesn't make any sense. Where? I must have missed it. There it is. Yeah, it's all okay. So it's all the way. Well, at least I got to show you my demon altar and my little tunnel that shows off the border between the surface and underground layers. uh, yeah, the other thing that I found was another life crystal, guys. You may have seen it on the map there, just a little red blip underneath this long line. And it is right over here. It's a little bit hard to see from where we're at, but it is right down there. Ugh, excuse me. It's right here. Boom, another life crystal. So that brings us up to 160 max life, essentially. Obviously, again, I don't want to. I don't want to use those life crystals until I am fully prepared to deal with the consequences of potentially spawning a goblin invasion or the Eye of Cthulhu, which will be soon. It will be soon. I've got the armor now. I'm pretty confident in my armor. So all I need to do is get a couple more life crystals, and my melee weapon is alright. I need to get a better bow. So I will probably be saving platinum ore for the platinum bow. I don't know if I necessarily want to make like a platinum bow. I kind of want to get a bow that's going to have good modifiers, which means I might need to use something that I have a whole lot of ore for. Like maybe silver or something like that, you know?